Oh crap. I didn't have the webcam pointing at me. Oops. It's like we don't know what we're doing around here, ladies and gentlemen. But hey, at least we got audio. And also, we got Triple X yet again. It's like
hello.
It's like I actually communicate with other human beings that have the capacity for speech.
Why does it say Alien Isolation scrolling across the top?
Uh-oh. Wow. Oops. Oops. Metal. I can't even spell metal.
M-E-T-A-L.
There we go.
Metal.
Mattel? They didn't make ARs. It's only Cult. Alright, so we don't actually have any audio coming out of the game because it is all way too loud. This is one of those old games that you can't really turn it down. So, today is the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army, which is pretty cool to say the least. Consider that 250 years ago, the best we had was a smooth bore musket firing a 69 caliber round ball, and now we've had the M4 for the last 30 years.
What caliber was that again?
It really is 69 caliber. I'm not making that up. It legitimately is. I swear. All right, and hello, Neji. Today's pretty good. Went to go get some Chinese food for my mother's birthday. She's turning 21 today. We were out driving, and I saw some people with some signs, and I was like, oh god, are they protesting something? Nope, they were just shilling for a softball game. So, that was good. And hello, Riley. And Cyrus, don't worry about it. You're not as clingy as you might think. Believe me, I did have a stalker about 10 years ago. Yeesh. That wasn't fun.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Lotz, by the way.
Yes. We do not know what her
21 years old.
Yep, we don't know what her age is, because women don't age. And MA77, I hate black powder. I mean, I have like 2 black powder pistols. Also, this is really cool. Like, look at this. 2002. Like, look at all this crap. Look at all these bloody planes. You know, the C-47s. I would hate to have been dropped on June 6th here. I mean, a lot of these guys were kind of screwed because, yeah. And these are the good parachutes. The Germans had the real shitty ones. They had a single point harness, which means they couldn't actually control where they were falling. And they didn't jump with weapons. Now, this game is not historically accurate in that we have an M1 Garand, which we wouldn't have. I don't think they ever got the jump bag quite right for the M1 Garand. They tried to jump with these things, but people got their legs broken. So a lot of people jumped with Thompsons, which is kind of weird because the Thompson weighs about as much as a Garand. I think it actually weighs more. Have you ever used a Thompson XXX?
I've never got to use one, but I did get to hold one.
Yeah, was it not heavy?
It was like 14 pounds.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I still kind of want one. Like, repeal the NFA so we can get, like, cheap Thompsons. Or get some
I know they went with a more cheap grease gun to replace the Thompson.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have had it on D-Day, though. That was a very late war kind of thing. But they would be jumping.
The Thompson was $200 to make, and the grease gun was $20.
Yeah, it was not like the M1 carbine was cheaper, and the M1 carbine is a vastly superior firearm. They would have been jumping with M1 carbines on D-Day. The M1A1 carbine with the folding stock, which apparently is extremely shitty. Also, I would not like to be those guys in that truck right now. That's why you want to be like armored infantry, not motorized infantry. A nearby town was having a 40 civil fighting over the main street. Nice. I'd like to go to a World War II reenactment. I don't think there's any around here. There is a Civil War reenactment in Lindo, which I've been to on several occasions. It was a lot of fun. Since I'm on YouTube, I can't say who wins, but we can probably guess who wins.
What year did this release?
2002.
I'm amazed. It's watching this, thinking back to 2002. The opening parachute sequence would have been mind blowing.
It was mind-blowing for me, because I got it in 2002. Played it on my Dell desktop. That Dell desktop, I played all kinds of classic games on that bloody thing, including this one. I remember paying like $30 for this game, which back in those days was a lot of money, which was the style at the time. That parachute scene, though, chugged my computer really hard. Like, it did not make my computer very happy. It's kind of funny. Oh yeah, this would totally not work either. Like, this is probably like a 20 millimeter. A 20 millimeter is, no matter how many times you shoot a tank with that, that's not gonna make it blow up like that. But, well, video game. And yes, Return to Castle Wolfenstein was part of the World War II shooter craze. Now, sadly, you can't hear these guys because, once again, the audio would blow up my eardrums. Whoa, I need some personal space there, British dude. It's like, come on, you don't have to get that close. Now, what he said is, hand him a weapon. Instead, we get an entire British loadout. It's like, that's more than one here, people. More than one. So, I swear this British guy, who you can't hear, is essentially the proto-Captain Price. I kind of notice they all kind of look alike. But he's the one with the radio. And that is a somewhat accurate radio. Those walkie-talkies. Actually, no, that's a walk and talk. I always get those mixed up. A walkie-talkie is like this bicycle thing that like charges up a battery that allows you to like communicate like 3 miles away, where like that is a walk and talk, which evidently gets like a mile if you're lucky. See, everybody talks about how like the Germans. Uh-oh. Okay, good. They can't hear you. Okay, never mind. But they always talk about how the Germans were more technologically advanced than the Allies, but the Germans didn't have anything like that radio. They had nothing like that at all.
Why didn't they just use their iPhones to communicate?
I can't imagine there'd be somebody that stupid to say that, though. Although I have seen on Reddit, like, how did people, like, navigate without GPS?
You know somebody in, like, the next 5 years will ask that.
I don't even want to think about it. You gotta wonder, though, like, are people dumber today than they were just 20 years ago? Because you have to consider, normies would have had to have used a map, you know, 20 years ago or 30 years ago. Whereas today, normies just type it into their phone.
Back in my day, you used to buy your map at a gas station, and that's how you navigated.
I mean, that did require some skills.
You could never forward it back the way you got it, but at least you knew where you were going.
Exactly, unless you didn't know where you were. It's like, wait, where am I? I remember trying to find a gun store years ago that was on a street called Red Bluff. And me and my grandfather must have driven for hours trying to find it. Come to find out, it was Genoa Red Bluff. I'll never forget that. We spent like $10 going over a bloody toll bridge trying to find this gun store. We finally did, and it was pretty cool. Unfortunately, they were forced to close down because somebody built a school within 10 miles of them. Because eminent domain. Let's see. Why do you think PSA gets such a bad rap at gun stores? Well, here's the thing. I don't go to a lot of gun stores anymore. I go to my local gun shop, and none of them like shame people for buying a PSA. So yeah, I don't know. I don't participate in like subcultures. Like even back in the ye olde days, I didn't. Like when I did a lot of like when I was big into Star Wars fandom, which I guess I still am. Like I didn't like talk to other Star Wars fans until like 2011. So I didn't know all the memes and such. And so like with the gun culture, I shoot. Ooh, I shot that guy in the dick. I shoot a lot, but I don't like talk to people about guns. I'm not like, oh yes, the PSA is bad. So I don't know. Nobody at my gun shop ever is like PSA bad. All those gun horror stories you hear about, like FUD saying like, "Oh, you shot too fast." That never happens. People in Houston know how to keep their mouth shut and know how to mind their own business. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've got my PSA and I've shot it for the last 4 years and it's been good. Now you'll notice that guy's Sten gun is not the one I have. Actually, he's not even holding anything. Uh-oh. He's got a wooden stock and nothing. Well, I didn't mention that in the review, but I didn't notice that. See, his hand is kind of right, but it's a little too close to the receiver. But, like, Captain Not Price, he's not holding anything. It's just a ghost forward grip, I guess. And yeah, nothing's new. Just another day, really. What are these guys waiting for? Am I supposed to, like, throw a grenade up there or something? They're supposed to do that, but yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Oh wait, no, there's one guy left alive. Smack him. Beat him over the head. Pistol whip him. Break his spine. I always wanted a Webley. These things are ridiculously expensive for what they are. Uh-oh, did he break? Come on, throw the grenade. Throw it up there. There's one AR you kind of should avoid, but I can't remember what it is at the moment. It's one that's mainly made out of polymer, like a ridiculous amount of it that's made to a cheap spec. But most of those ARs are gonna work. You don't really need to overthink it too much. You know, just buy a PSA and be done with it. It's gonna work, unless you put like 30,000 rounds through it, and then where did you get the money for all that ammo? Okay, there it is. Now, Triple X, do you ever think about like round counts on your various guns? Like, oh yeah, I put 500 rounds through this over a period of 3 years.
Sometimes.
Because most of the time, like, I never really think about that. And especially, like, my surplus guns, it never really bothers me. It's like, unless, like, you're an actual competitive shooter, it doesn't really matter. And you're putting, like,
I've only ever put maybe... I think I've only ever put maybe a few hundred rounds through most of my pistols. I mean, it's not like ammo's cheap that I can just, like you said, competition shoot it.
Yeah, because, like, those competition shooters that put thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds, like, they're getting somebody else to pay for that ammo. You know, like, Remington is sending them, like, cases and cases of it for free because they're going to shield their products.
You know, I wouldn't mind getting free ammo to, you know, as a sponsored person.
That would be cool, but that's one of those things where, you know, for just being a regular person, you got to really watch out for, like, how much money you spend and how many bullets you shoot. Like, for me, I will shoot 2 mags out of any given rifle that I take to the range. That's about 40 rounds. Because I'm more focused on accuracy versus volume of fire. Sort of like the Swiss, you know, it's like, shoot twice and then go home. Which would be kind of boring, but... when we had, like, the steel case, that didn't really help me much, because, like, steel case ammo used to be pennies. Used to be, like, minuscule amounts of monies. But now it's all gone up. And special weapons hasn't been in business since probably you were born, Cyrus. I assume you're young, Cyrus. I'm not to be offensive, but it sounds like you're probably, like, what, mid-20s? So, yeah, special weapons would have gone out of business, like, 10 years before that. Transformers 1, 2 is canceled? Ah. That sucks. Speaking of movies, I do plan on doing a movie review of that Soupy Man movie that's coming out next month. I think it looks pretty good. It looks like it's at least going to have a little bit of humor to it. Did you see Man of Steel? Back to 2013?
Did you say Soupy Man?
Exactly.
The last one I saw was what's his name? 40K guy was Superman.
Yeah, Man of Steel.
Yeah.
But what did you think of it though? Like, did you think it was good, bad, over dramatic, overly violent?
Well, as somebody who's not really a superhero movie kind of guy, I actually liked it.
Huh. I enjoyed it actually quite a bit when I saw it back in 2013. I actually kind of got choked up when Pa Kent ended up sacrificing himself so Superman didn't have to lose his secret identity. I thought it was a perfectly adequate movie. But most people hated the Snyderverse.
Nah, I mean, for what it was, I liked it.
I'm more of a Batman guy, personally.
It was way better than The Spirit.
Well, I've never seen that. Oh, crap. No. I thought that was the... Smack him in the face. Crack his skull. It's not a war crime unless somebody finds out about it. And I don't see any body cameras in 1944 now, do we? Transformers X G.I. Joe movie. Pfft. You know, Transformers and G.I. Joe is not a bad idea, but man, those G.I. Joe movies were terrible, as were the Transformers. You know, I will admit I was kind of weak, and I was like, oh yeah, those Transformers movies aren't that bad. They're pretty bad. I tried to sit through like a little bit of one. Oh my god, it was bad. Oh my god, I don't know how I liked it back in 2007. It was like lame lines.
I like the first one.
The first one is actually not as terrible, but it's still terrible. It's like 50 seconds of like a little bit of Transformer action. This guy must be part of the special teams, so we're gonna bash him in the back of the head. But yeah, it's like, it's still pretty terrible though. I mean, like the G.I. Joe movie was, I guess, kind of more generic than anything else, but still, it wasn't that great. And yes, I saw that in theaters. I saw the first three Transformers movies in theaters. I actually paid money to see it. And the first G.I. Joe. And yeah, Spaceballs, the sequel, is coming out. I'm looking forward to that. I liked Spaceballs 1.
Is Rick Moranis going to be in it?
Evidently he is.
You need Rick Moranis.
I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of parodies of Kylo Ren. I just hope they don't like make it too modern. And just maybe stick to broad humor. Now, if we shot that big cannon, in fact, I kind of want to do that, just to show this. Oh, is it too late? Are they already shooting at him? Yeah, they are. Okay, let's.
Oh,
damn it. Okay, hold on. I've already gone through this game multiple times. Let's go back here. Normandy destroy the entire thing. Okay, that's not it. Let's see. That's lock and load. Okay, here we are. Because I want to shoot at that cannon, because they will blow you up with it. I mean, there was History of the World Part 1. Wait, that's not a sequel. They didn't make Jews in space? How could they?
Producers.
There's that one. But Spaceballs should be an adequate movie if they get actual writers and not just turn it into, you know, some sort of bastardization of like South Park or something. Yeah, so one of the things I was thinking about this past week is, you ever notice, like, all these great, like, creative duos always end up exploding? Like, Mel Brooks and Gene Wilder, and, you know, like, YouTube is really bad about that. The captain's been killed! God damn it! Also, what was that guy doing with his mouth? That was weird.
Who killed the captain?
How is, how are we gonna have Call of Duty? They could have ruined gaming. I've never actually played European Assault. I think it was only for the PlayStation 2. But yeah, all these creative duos end up exploding quite spectacularly. Sadly, even like Adam and Jamie from the Mythbusters ended up hating each other. Well, they say they don't hate each other, but if you actually watch the interviews, it's like, oh dear. Usually comes down to like pay disputes. See, like Triple X, you don't have to worry about end up hating me because I don't have any money. Period. We can both be poor. But
yay! Wait, what?
hey, there's nothing to dispute over, right? But it's kind of interesting, though. I guess because, like, creatives are very, and this is not a Sten Mark II like I thought it was. This has a wooden stock. It doesn't have the wireframe.
You brought up a good point with Jamie and Adam on Mythbusters. Because when I used to watch it, you could kind of see the cracks in the later seasons.
Yeah, because I don't think Discovery wanted to pay him as much. Now look, if we shoot at him, yep, see they're gonna turn around, boom! Talk about overkill. But yeah, like Adam and Jamie. Then of course you've got like the YouTubers that end up hating each other, like JonTron. This is a long time ago, but like JonTron and Ego Raptor, I think his name was. Did you ever watch Game Grumps?
Not when they were around. I watched a lot of the stuff after the fact.
Yeah, so did I. I downloaded like a 5-hour compilation to listen at work, and I was like laughing my ass off. And I don't really laugh at a lot of that kind of stuff. But they had a big falling out around 2014, I think, where what ended up happening is, now this could be I could be entirely wrong about this, but from what I remember reading, I think JonTron slept with Ego Raptor's wife. I think that's what happened. And like a picture got leaked to Reddit of the deed transpiring, and that's why they ended up hating each other. It's like, oh dear. Oh dear.
I remember Ego Raptor all the way back to the Newground days.
I didn't know he was on Newgrounds.
A lot of the edgy YouTubers got their start on Newgrounds.
I only ever used Newgrounds for like watching Flash animations and stuff like that. That's one of my earliest internet memories when I like seriously got on the internet around 2007, was watching the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny. That is a classic. Where Chuck Norris kicks Bruce Wayne in the crotch, and Optimus Prime tries to fight Godzilla.
Did you ever watch Red vs. Blue?
No, it didn't appeal to me. I was aware of it. I've known a lot of people who loved Red vs. Blue, who sweared by it, but it just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I figured you were going to be like, oh, dude, I've seen every episode like 12 times.
No, I tried watching it, but it just never really clicked with me. It's just not my kind of humor.
It was brilliant.
I mean, the idea of machinima, of using video games as a means of telling stories, that is a pretty forward-thinking concept.
Yeah, that always kind of made me laugh. Like, look, it's Halo, but it's a sitcom.
Yeah, I shot that guy a lot. I didn't miss. I guess he ran out of gas or something. See, that's pretty cool, though. That guy driving around on that motorcycle. I actually kind of like Spearhead a little more than the base game, because like the base game doesn't have that. Well,
Cyrus, I think they got away with it. I think they got away with it because they technically didn't change anything in the game. And just recording gameplay footage while doing your own voiceover isn't illegal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Medal of Honor Airborne is pretty good. I actually did a review of that a long time ago. I gotta stream that at some point. Let's see. Where is that? Oh yeah, Ian McCollum and Kyle Comrade Carl Casorda. Oh, now that's a sad one. I actually rewatched some in-range TV from, almost a decade ago now. And that was some really good stuff. Like, they were kind of like the new Mythbusters at one point. And I think they did a lot of good for the AR-15. Man, like this German dude, he's tough. He can take like a whole chest full of 9mm. Like, this is why you need hollow points. Damn you, Geneva Convention. And I never played Medal of Honor on the PSP. I actually got a comment of someone complaining about how, like, oh, the PSP had a great library. Okay, now see, like, that guy would have been completely, like, red misted, and we would have died, too, from the overpressure, because that's an 88mm tank shell. That going off that close would have it would have probably damaged the tank, too, but, well, it's a video game. And Hollywood is run by the dumbest people imaginable, because a lot of them are what we call today Nepo babies. But, you know, the Nepo baby concept, that's a new kind of thing, though. Because it used to be like when you would have, like, the son of, like, a famous actor doing something, people were kind of excited. Whereas now it's like, oh god, it's going to be some talentless hack. Actually, Chuck Norris.
Did you ever play the... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I got a message saying that it was actually Chuck Norris that kicked Indiana Jones in the crotch. Oops. So something happened to Batman in Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny. But what were you saying?
Did you ever play, and I'm going to assume the answer is no, the Modern Warfare versions of Medal of Honor?
I played the first one because I think I got it for free from something. Because I distinctly remember playing it and hating it because it was mostly just cutscenes.
Yes.
And I think I even did a video for that.
I played it and its sequel, and I was so mad.
How bad was that sequel?
The sequel was just... On a scale of 1 to 10, like, it was a 2.
I wonder how much actual gameplay was in it, like 5 minutes maybe?
It was... The entire game was... hurry up and wait. Like, literally just follow. Follow, follow, follow. Clear this arena, go to next area, clear this arena, cutscene.
That's like the first one. Wow, I'm just completely getting eradicated here. Like, I can't even draw a beat on these guys. I mean, it's kind of like real life. Like, if you can see the MG42, you're already dead. Yeah, that's why I kind of... I'm not gonna say I got out of gaming, but why I didn't game nearly as much, because, like, that's not a game. It's just a cutscene simulator. It's like... I remember how disappointed I was with Battlefront 3, or Battlefield 3, where, like, you get, like, 2 seconds of gameplay, and then, like, oh yeah, here, sit in this plane, and, like, you're just gonna push one button once to blow up some other planes. It's like, really? That's the best you got?
I'm gonna catch a lot of hell for this, but as a Metal Gear Solid fan, I could not stand Metal Gear Solid 4 because that was a cutscene with occasional gameplay.
That's what I heard. That's what I've heard, like, a lot. And I've actually watched some of the cutscenes, and they're not bad. It makes for a great animated movie. It's too bad it's...
I'm pretty sure you're right. I mean, it was beautifully animated. But I'm pretty sure the final cutscene was like 47 minutes long.
That's just sad. I mean, and I gotta tell you, like, those codec segments were really, really annoying. I mean, I get why they're there, but man, they go on for a long time.
All right, I believe Matt the Tin
Damn.
Man's got a good point. Snake Eater was definitely the GOAT of the series. It had decently long cutscenes, but like at least you wanted to watch them. Metal Gear Solid 4's cutscenes was like, oh, Liquid got away, and this girl's gonna make eggs for you now, and
What?
hey, look, boobs. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Like the sexual themes were just like shoehorned in.
It's like, seriously, Kojima, just go to Vegas for 5 minutes. This is so...
The only redeeming thing about that game was you went back to Shadow Moses.
Damn.
And you had a really cool mech battle.
That's an entire part of... I don't know why I'm dying this much here. This is weird because, like, I was able to blast through this when I just was recording. Like, it was nothing. And I can't even look at him and I'm dead. I mean, look at that. Like, I barely get over here, dead. I got, like, seconds to react. I don't know what's going on here. Check out the leak of Duke Nukem for Duke Nukem D-Day. Yes, and I will get around to streaming that at some point. I'll have to figure out how to get it to work with PCSX2. Man,
Wasn't that like an older Duke game that never saw the light of day?
yeah. It's a Duke Nukem third-person shooter. It's one of those. That's the thing about Duke Nukem. Like, we think of Duke Nukem as a first-person shooter first, but it really isn't. There's been way more Duke Nukem third-person shooters than there have been first-person ones.
Time to Kill was a third-person game.
Yeah, and was 0 Hour.
I believe it worked on Tomb Raider logic. I remember it had tank controls.
My God. Not that, but this. You can see I'm like, it's not even that I'm sucking. It's just like they immediately spot me and shoot me. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. It's like I can't even react fast enough. Like, what the hell?
Dear.
It's like, what in the name of God is going on here? You may not get very far in this game, I guess. That's why I would sometimes just turn on God mode. You have to actually modify the executable. I mean, you're seeing this, right? I'm not just going nuts here.
No, I'm seeing it.
It's like, it's so not fair, man. And of course, he spots me right through the smoke. But yeah, they didn't do this before. I don't know what the hell's going on here. It's a good thing that Captain is just like sitting. I know what the problem is. I just realized it. They're not really... Okay, this is bullshit. The fact that they immediately can spot me. I know what's going on. I just realized it. The game is actually artificially increasing the difficulty because I didn't blow up the cannon. That's actually kind of neat, but like... I forgot to blow up the cannon. Okay, that's kind of cool, but still pretty bullshit, though. Now let's see if they can still do that. At least I killed one. Let's see. They're not even there. Oh, so that's like a artificially difficult like fence or something to keep you from going any further. I kind of like that. If I'm not mistaken, in Far Cry 3, if you try to go too far out in the sea, like you get eaten by a shark, I think. Like an insta-kill shark. So you got insta-kill MG42s.
Oh, that's GTA 5.
Oh, okay. But, like, that's pretty cool. That's better than just an invisible wall or the game, like, turn back to complete objective. Like, that is actually pretty cool. Like, for a second, that made me really pissed off. And now it's like, you know, that's pretty clever. That is pretty clever. You know what, Medal of Honor Spearhead? You may live for now. And yeah, time to kill is pretty good with mouse and keyboard, as is 0 Hour. I prefer 0 Hour to time to kill. I think it's a slightly better game. You fight Cthulhu at the end of that one. I'll need to stream that as well. What I liked about the Nintendo Duke Nukems was you could save the babes instead of having to shoot them. It's like, really? You can make me shoot attractive females? How could you? Like, seriously. That's not gonna traumatize little Timmy. So we had to blow open that wall when we could have just gone right through this little thing. That's your video game logic right there. But like the insta-kill MG42s, I love it. And yeah, you can kill Jack the Ripper in 0 Hour. Which, when I did the review all those years ago, like, I was completely surprised by that. Like, I didn't know Jack the Ripper showed up. That's like one of the few times Duke Nukem actually gets to, you know, fight a villain that's kind of recognizable instead of just a generic alien or Dr. Proton. Now, did you play the original Duke Nukem, the side-scroller Duke Nukem?
No, I never got to play the first or second game.
Because, like, I got to play the second game, but I thought it was, like, some kind of cheap, like, cash grab after Duke Nukem 3D, because I didn't realize that Duke Nukem 3D was, like, the third game. I like it when Duke Nukem
3D was my first foray into Duke Nukem.
I think it was probably that way for everybody, because it was their best foot forward, even though Duke Nukem is, as a franchise, is one that, like, I like it well enough, but I don't like it nearly as much as Doom or Wolfenstein. But I want to know, like, why is Duke Nukem going back and forwards through time, though? It's like there's multiple games where Duke Nukem goes back in time. And then the Duke Nukem comic, I can't remember the name of the Duke Nukem comic now. It's like something Bastard. And he goes back in time to World War II. In fact, I think Duke Nukem D-Day is probably what that comic is based on, because it's pretty much the same plot. But, like, what's Duke Nukem and time travel? I guess, like, Duke Nukem was a character first and, like, a universe second. Nobody really knew what to do with him. Yeah, Glorious Bastard was the name of the comic. Like, no one really knew what to do. Oh, yeah, Inglorious Bastards. I didn't even make that leap there until just now. So, is Quentin Tarantino overrated or not?
I like him.
Yeah, but is he overrated or not? That's the question.
I never found him to be preachy or pandering, so I'm going to say no.
And well, I agree with that, but I think he's a bit overrated. I think everybody like goes nuts about his movies, but I've seen maybe not all of them, but quite a few of them. Inglorious Bastards, the one with Samuel L. Jackson and the other guy, Pulp Fiction. Seen the, oh, really? The fucking captain died again, and I thought they were all okay movies. They're definitely film bro movies. Like they are film bro. Like they are, and I'm all right with film bro movies. You know, like film bro movies have their place, but I've always found film bro anything to be really pretentious. That's the main thing. It's like, you know, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 are perfectly fine movies, but they're treated as like this god tier greatest thing of all days, all years, forever. And to me, they were just merely all right. Just merely 100% okay. And I've seen movies that are very similar.
I actually think his best work. I think his best work are movies that don't have the cult status that like everyone references Pulp Fiction, yeah. But I think Jackie Brown is the superior movie. Same with Reservoir Dogs.
And funny enough, I've never seen either one of those. So maybe they're actually worth watching.
I never saw Hateful Eight. Didn't really care for it.
I did watch that Django Unchained, and I thought it was, once again, pretty much okay. Pretty much okay.
Django is okay, but there's a scene in the movie, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone, that just ruined the entire movie for me because it makes no effing sense.
There's a movie from the 60s? I didn't know there was an original Django. And I haven't seen Django Unchained since, I think...
Yeah, there was a... there was a 60s film of the same name.
Probably more of a spaghetti western of some description.
I'll tell you what, though, we do have to give Tarantino props for giving us Christopher Waltz.
I do not know what that is. Or if I do, I don't recognize the name.
He was a thing in German cinema.
Oh, the guy who
Colonel
plays...
Hans Landa.
Yeah, that guy. I remember. I did not know his real name. Yeah, he's a very good actor. And yes, I did see the Spaceballs 2 announcement. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
I can't wait. Let's see. Carl. Yeah, Ian and Carl. I kind of got sidetracked. Yeah, Ian and Carl. Carl Casarda either already was a crazy political guy or he became one in 2020. But as I understand it, some people in the AR15.com forums were mean to him, and he said they were the Soxicism, the Roxism, and all the rest. Well, come to find out, the AR15 forums are owned by Brownells, and I did not know that. Brownells is a firearms distribution company. They sell like parts and magazines. Used to be there was the Brownells catalog you would get, and you could buy stuff directly from them that way. I'm not a big fan of Brownells just because I bought like a pack of 3 Glock mags from them, and they sent me 2 of the right mags and 1 of the wrong mags, and they refused to take it back, so it was kind of annoying that. I got 3 Glock 17 mags. They sent me a Glock 48 mag. It's like, thanks for that. Thanks for nothing. And they refused to take it. So I'm just stuck with a Glock 48 mag that I'm never going to use because I don't have one. But whatever. Anyway, Brownells also distributed Ian and Carl's rifle, the What Would Stoner Do carbine. Well, once Carl started saying bad stuff about Brownells, well, Brownells stopped selling it. And needless to say, Ian McCallum was not too happy about that because, well, he lost money and, well, that was the big falling out between them. Basically, Carl couldn't keep his mouth shut. And now, as far as I know, he's basically, Carl Casarda is basically just a complete blue hair. You could kind of see it. You could kind of see, god damn it. You could kind of see the blue hairiness here and there. But, you know, it was never too overt, but once they split up, it became blue hair all day long. And yes, I have played the Soldier.
Did you ever watch
What's again?
Sorry, think was it? You ever watch the British gun guy? He does can't think of his name, but he does like guns in video games and talks about if they got it right or wrong.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I don't think I've ever watched him. Jonathan Ferguson.
Yeah, okay. I remember his last name being Ferguson with his frosted blonde tips.
Could he be more British? Yeah, I never watched him. He's never really had much appeal. It is. I have played
I
the.
love whenever he does a Call of Duty game because you know the guns are just going to be cursed.
Yeah. I mean, it's COD. They kind of have to be. It's not like they know how firearms work. It's not as bad as, say, Ubisoft. Yeesh. And yes, I have played the Soldier of Fortune games. I got a review of the original one on the channel. And not only that, but back in the ye olde days, I did a whole Let's Play on that game. I'm a big fan. I don't have it installed right now, but I definitely will. God damn it. Stream it at some point as well. Jump! That was not a good idea. The only problem with this level is we need more, like, health, because this is somewhat hard. Cyrus asked if you were ever in a burning building. I can't imagine that was fun.
He did?
Yeah. It's further up the chat line, I think.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I bet it doesn't.
I guess you got, like, that fireman bunker gear and such on.
Yeah, it's... I'll tell you what, in the cold weather state, when there is a fire, you rush inside because it's warm.
Now, do you, like, carry, like, your own oxygen when you go in there?
Like, we don't have assigned tanks or anything, but everyone has a tank, and we carry spares.
Okay. How long do you normally stay in one of those places? Like, I imagine it can be. It probably feels longer than it actually is. Oh my!
Typically, you have about... You got about 50 minutes of oxygen. That's assuming you're breathing normal, but you're not. You're going to be breathing heavy and rapid. So you really only have around 40 minutes of oxygen.
Okay.
So typically you go in for 30 to 40 minutes. You come out and you go to what's called rehab, where they sit you down, give you something to drink for like 20 minutes, and then you get cycled back in after.
Interesting.
But yeah, they're really strict about that stuff, like 30 to 40 minutes tops.
That's why I'm glad we're not a cold weather state. I want to be freezing my ass off so much I want to jump into a burning building. Blow him up, blow him up! Oh, you bastard! Go on.
We had days where the temperature was -3.
Oh god, no. No wonder everybody up north's so crazy. Okay, come on, dude.
Well, it's stupid Canada and Buffalo sending their Arctic air down to us.
I'm so dead. Yep. It's like, I don't know how you're supposed to blow this guy up without him... 60 degrees in June? Psh, those are rookie numbers. It was 90 today. Come on, get over there, get over there! Run.
Cyrus, your question's hard to answer because everyone's going to have a different reaction to it. Some people are not going to be scared while others are. I've only ever had a few where I was kind of skeptical on it. But for the most part, you just get used to it. You get a feel for when things are going to go wrong.
Probably do not want to go in a burning crack house, that's for sure.
Nah, meth labs are the worst by far.
I was gonna say that. It's like, or one of those. 'Cause yeah,
Fortunately, meth labs tend to be further down south.
Which is such a weird thing to me, because like I've never seen. Well, then again, I don't associate with drug addicts, but if meth is such a common thing, like in the South, I've never seen a meth addict. But then again, I don't really hang around druggies, so I guess that it's sort of a self-correcting problem.
You're gonna find your meth users typically consecrated around like the big cities.
Yeah.
They're gonna want to be where they can panhandle the most.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Or shill for softball. That reminds me, there was this big drug bust in. There's a big drug bust in Arizona, and there were some stupid protesters complaining about it. It's like they don't know what they're doing. They're just getting their paycheck from store. I mean, a grassroots thing. Yeah, totally grassroots. They're just worried about the poor peoples. But still, it's kind of hilarious. It reminds me of like the Just Stop Oil people. They were protesting a truck of cooking oil, and like they have like the trucker.
I remember that.
Yeah. They're interviewing the trucker, and like the reporter's like, "Well, are you worried about what your oil is going to do to the environment?" And the guy just like starts cracking up. It's like, "Yeah, but this is cooking oil." And it's like, oh man, come on, people.
That was so funny.
Yeah, it's like they need to try a little harder to push their propaganda.
How about Greta Thunberg on her? Do you see Greta Thunberg's PR stunt she just pulled?
Yeah, she decided it was a good idea to go to a certain country and protest, and she got stopped immediately. She's lucky, though. She's very lucky that she got stopped by a certain side that can't eat pork, not even with a fork.
Yeah.
Because had she not, she would not be with us today. And, you know, as annoying as that stupid, as that wretched woman is, she don't deserve that. Because you know what would have happened to her.
Yes.
So, it's best, you know.
All right. Do you think she would yell, "How dare you," right before?
No, she'd be. You gotta consider, when you look at like a picture of Greta, I think she's, not to be offensive here, but mentally challenged legitimately. I don't think she would really understand what was going on until it started, and then she wouldn't be able to handle it. If she survived, which she most likely wouldn't, she would unalive herself within a year.
I blame her parents.
Yeah, she was a prop.
I blame her parents. Because there's no way she learned that activism on her own.
No. And you just look at her face. She clearly is mentally challenged. At least that's the way it looks to me. You know, there's not a lot going on up there. And that's not fair to people who are mentally challenged, but you can tell that she doesn't really understand what she's doing or saying. And so, yeah, it's just like, she she wouldn't deserve what they would do to her. You know?
I think her burgers are made of that.
Yep. I always pronounce it Thunberg just because she annoys me. I'm not going to pronounce your name right. Feck off.
That's right. I will dead name you with the wrong name. Ah!
Yeah, properly gassed AR can struggle with steel case. That's why I don't mind that mine's a bit overgassed. We can a live name, Greta. we can Americanize it. Okay, that. Now, of course, when you're helping people that get hurt, you just hand them like a canteen of magic medic water, right? Like this guy in the game. Just magic medic water. You just drink it down and it cures what ails you. Like,
see, whenever I get shot, I just hide behind a wall for a few seconds, and then I'm okay.
You don't even need the medic water, all right. Like, how did we forget the medic water?
It only hurts when I get shot in a cutscene.
That's the only time it counts, because then you lose, like, ego points or something, right?
Exactly.
See, I like this style of World War II game. Like, it's all gameplay, no fluff, no yakking at you. It's not overly violent, because when you shoot the Germans, they just have, like, puffs of smoke, like the 1960s. Saving Private Ryan was, like, one of the first, like, really hyper-violent World War II movies, which makes sense. But until that time, like, World War II movies, despite, you know, being World War II, weren't that violent. Like, you'd see people, like clutch their stomach and fall over, like, dramatically, but you didn't see somebody just get completely, like, atomized.
I remember when I was in theaters and they had a special 800 number for vets to see the movie, to talk to somebody if they got, like, PTSD'd.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, because, like, that was pretty realistic compared to pretty much anything that had come before. Although I gotta say, though, that movie really isn't that great. It is really, really overly dramatic, you know? That's when Tom Hanks started to become a kind of a pretentious actor at that point. And I'm gonna tell you that, like, for me, Saving Private Ryan is a pretty pretentious movie, but that opening scene, holy crap, that was very effective. Yeah, this runs on the Quake 3 engine.
You know what stands out to me about that movie the most? In the opening where he's walking with his family to the grave of Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I guess one of his granddaughters. She has really, really big eyes.
Oh, I don't think I've even noticed that. I haven't watched that movie in, like, at least a decade. Like,
I say
dear.
eyes, but I'm not actually talking about her eyes.
Yeah, I can imagine the good parts. The things that make it hard to look at the eyes, right?
Her black cannons.
There we go. I'll have to check that out. It's like, wow, we were being completely irreverent. It's like, you know, it's a movie about people fighting on D-Day. It's like, wow, his granddaughter had giant cans.
Yes, for science.
Oh, there's the tank. How many tanks are they going to send after us? Like, the Germans barely have any gas at this point. How are they sending, like, an entire tank battalion after us? They really want that truck. You think of the amount of resources that are on that truck versus the amount of resources that they sent after us. Ugh. Timber. This is overly difficult for what it is.
General, I have some bad news.
You didn't save a bunch of money on your car insurance?
Worse.
Uh-oh.
I must depart.
Yeah, well, watch out for burning buildings.
I'll try. Yeah, unfortunately, I got to duck out early. Everybody, no stream tonight. We'll be streaming Tuesday if you're interested.
All right, well, be careful out there. I'll try not to get killed by the entire German army.
Do. Have a good stream tonight, General, as you die immediately on my screen. Good night to everyone in chat. Always a pleasure to see you.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.
Be careful out there. Yeah, the half track is one of those things that you didn't really see after World War II just because they were able to go to fully tracked vehicles or wheeled vehicles, but it was a pretty good idea, especially for the time. And it's kind of sad that a lot of those APCs just didn't really stand the test of time. So, like, everybody thought, like, hey, we're gonna ride in a battle taxi. It's like, uh-oh. They're kind of vulnerable to everything. Although evidently the come on, blow them up, blow them up, blow them up. This is one of the harder parts of the game. It's not, I think it might be the hardest part in the entire game, because once we get through here, it's a little bit easier. Although the night attack we're about to have to deal with is kind of hard, just because it's very specific in what it wants you to do. Like if they get over the line, well, okay, we need to immediately be turned over here so we can shoot him. Because if we don't immediately start shooting, we're going to lose a lot of health. We're losing a lot of health anyway. But still, though, I think this is the better of the Medal of Honor games. Like, it's much more bombastic. And, like, the audio on here does not sound that great on a modern computer. Like, it's overly loud. Like, ridiculously loud, like on a modern computer. It's definitely not getting processed quite right, but considering, you know, this is from 2002, I'm surprised it works at all. Like, this definitely needs a source port. We're already using a special community launcher to get it to run. So we're kind of like on the borderline of functionality when it comes to this thing. I'm glad to see a lot of fans working on a lot of source ports, like the new X-Wing. God damn it. I can only take one hit from this guy? One goddamn hit? Yeah, fuck you, game. But like X-Wing finally has a source port. TIE Fighter finally has a source port, and I blew up my own truck. I'm really glad to see that. Now, I had actually thought such a thing had already existed. I remember when I got into Doom back in the early 2000s, I was like, oh, there must be one for all the games, right? Right? Little I know, it'd take like 20 years for us to finally get X-Wing. I will stream that one day. The only problem with streaming that is I gotta try to get the joysticks to work right, and there's always a lot of configuration when it came to that. But one day I will get that working right. Yeah, Dark Forces 2 has kind of a source port. And I'm glad to see that. There's also a remake with like AI upscale textures, all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm happy to see a lot of these games getting... Oop. Wait a minute. Damn it. God damn it. We're almost done though. We're almost out of this bloody turret section. Now I gotta tell you though, this is a pretty good turret section. You actually have to try. It's actually legitimately exciting. All those developers that kind of got inspired to put a turret section in kind of forgot that it needs to be a challenge versus, you know, just sitting there and holding down the fire button. And talking about Battlefield 3 earlier, that was definitely a game that had, oh, you bastard, the most boring turret section imaginable with that goddamn plane. Like, that's when I knew there was something wrong with the game. I knew it was bad. What was with the World War II craze after Saving Private Ryan? Well, a lot of the World War II guys were still alive at that time. But World War II movies have been pretty successful since World War II. It was such a giant conflict. So many people were a part of it. And so it kind of had a built-in audience, almost. For me personally, my favorite World War II movies are Longest Day and Battle of Britain. Battle of Britain, I think, is my favorite one because it has, you know, Michael Caine in it, among other people. Longest Day is a very long movie, but still pretty good. And yeah, after Saving Private Ryan, we did get a lot of World War II games for about a decade. And they were mainly in the European theater of operations. Probably, and this is where I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on for a moment. This is actually a really effective scene here, if a bit annoying. I think probably they stuck with the European theater of operations just because they didn't want to piss off the Japanese. That's what makes the most sense to me. Because, like, you know, America and Japan had their, you know, détente and all the rest, and we're working together economically, so it's like, yeah, but then again, you know, so is Germany, but whatever. Also, STG-44! There is a Italian front where it's actually a Medal of Honor expansion pack, but apparently it's not very good. And yeah, COD World at War is a very good game. I need to stream that. There's like too many games, not enough time. Yeah, COD World at War really did show the brutality of the Japanese front. I guess like there was the idea in the early 2000s still that like the European theater was the more clean theater, more or less. And so it could be more like your traditional good guy v bad guy versus morally ambiguousness, and it's one of those things where I can kind of see why they went with that. But World War II is one of those things that I can see why it also ran its course, because there's really only so much you can do with it. Because, like, people aren't going to... Whoa! Because people are going to play the games that are set during the battles that they've actually heard of. Like, if you had, like, the Italians versus the Greeks, how many people even knew that was a thing? Although, weirdly enough, there was a movie with Nicolas Cage that dealt with that. I think it was, like... Oh, I remember that movie, too. I saw it on TV once. Captain Corelli something or other. It was like a musical instrument, like Captain Corelli's flute or something. I don't remember what it was about, but I remember it had Nicolas Cage, and he did not do an Italian accent. Like, he sounded like just a normal guy. And yeah, I would actually play a World War I game that was arcadey, because, like, you don't want something that's too tactical. That's gonna get boring fast. There is another effective scene in Saving Private Ryan where there's this medic trying to save this guy that's been shot in the chest. And like, oh, come on, get in the foxhole, you idiot. Get in the foxhole before you die. Thank you. And yes, he can die. And he will die because his AI is pretty shit. Like, I'm not that scared of no AI. Okay, come on. I remember the first time I played this, it was very difficult because I didn't realize, oh yeah, you need to stay hidden for a while. Let's hide down here. But World War I think, is the reason why nobody's really done anything with it. Well, Vietnam games, there are a good number of them. There's Battlefield Bad Company Vietnam, which I've not played, but I think it's like one of the more recent ones. There are a bunch of Vietnam games for the Xbox and PlayStation that are third-person shooters. But once again, you're not gonna... It's... Whenever you have something based on history, there's only so much you can actually do with it. It's not like there's gonna be a World War II 2. At least there better not be. Although, if you look at the news, I don't know. We don't need a World War III. We've had enough. And yeah, Vietnam does have that soundtrack. Although a lot of those songs actually came out later in the 70s. Versus when the war actually happened. I don't know if you could make like actual war-based games these days with social media, because you know that Reddit would complain. I mean, they kind of did that with COD World War II, and I think I think it was COD that had a German campaign, and they were complaining about that. Weird Magic. I mean, there's a few games like that already. But just a straight World War II game, you could maybe do something, but you couldn't do it on the scale that was going on in the early 2000s, though, just because it would get old fast. I think what might be kind of interesting is if you have, you know, like an American volunteer that volunteers for, like, the British Army, like, in 1939, and you, like, follow his career. But basically, you'd just be making Medal of Honor 1 again. Where, like, it's just a infantryman at first, or, like, an Army Ranger, which I don't think existed in 1940. There'd be a lot of complaints about, like, historical accuracy. But there are still World War II games made. I mean, the Sniper Elite series is still going strong. Okay, there we go. He's gonna be okay. That's why he's dead. If we could actually have some audio here. Yeah, he looks like he's gonna survive all right. Yeah, he looks like he's just living like you wouldn't believe, right? I think we're just supposed to not pay that close attention. It's kind of like watching an old TV show in HD. You're not supposed to notice all those things. recently rewatched some of the Drew Carey show, and like Drew Carey is supposed to be fat in there, and I guess with an SD TV you couldn't tell, but like, well, I don't know if I paid that close attention as a kid, but like, he's really not that fat. Like, he's actually in remarkably good shape, which he would kind of have to be, because filming is not an easy thing. Oh, you bastards. It's like the entire German army is trying to attack right here, which is somewhat historically accurate. And if just one steps over that line, everybody immediately starts running away. This is how it goes. So yeah, recently I've been reading some RPG supplements for Star Wars. There's a lot of expanded universe lore in the source books, which really annoys me, because if you're not an RPG gamer, how would you even know? How would you know? You know, talking about a Revolutionary War game, the History Channel put out a Civil War first-person shooter that's a lot like Medal of Honor. It's basically a Medal of Honor ripoff. And yes, you do have a musket, but they structure the missions in such a way that it's not really just, you know, line combat. So it's not too bad. But still, though, yeah, the further back you go, the less fun the actual shooting would actually be, because, you know, there's only so much they can do. The way, oh, you bastards. The way the History Channel game is able to get away with it is they give you a Colt revolving rifle, which is so historically inaccurate, it's not even funny, but I guess that's the best they can do. You know, it's like, okay, we need something that's multi-shot. The South is not going to have a Henry rifle or a Spencer. So, okay, what we're going to do is, how about, oh, you bastards, no! We probably already fit, yep, there we go. Because the second they get over, it's game over. Can an Assassin's Creed game take place in the 20th century? That is a good question. Yes, because a Assassin's Creed-ish game already exists. And that's the Saboteur. You kind of do Assassin's Creed-y things in it, and including parkour to a certain extent. And it works pretty well. Yeah, I've used a modern-day equivalent called the Ruger New Model Super Blackhawk, but it works pretty much the same way, and they're fun enough. They'll definitely teach you accuracy, though, because you've got 6 shots, and if you don't hit, you gotta reload. Come on, bots. Come on, bots. It's one of those things where it's what you kind of already failed. Okay, we're gonna save here because the bots are too stupid to actually hit their targets, and we have to switch from. It's one of those things where you can't. Oh, you bastard! Okay, good. He died, and they're not running. They're not running. Nope. Oh no. Oh. Okay, so we kind of got screwed there because we quick saved as soon as we lost. One of those idiots crossed the line, and when he did that, we were kind of screwed. This is like the worst of the missions in the entire game because now hopefully, okay, we didn't lose. Did we lose? I have to actually get here to fight him. Once we get past this, it's actually pretty easy, though. It took me ages to finally beat this, though, because it really is that... Yep, there we go. Brilliant. Okay, can we load that? No, it's going to immediately load us into a fail state. Yeah, I know that feeling. Weird weapons of World War II. Yeah, the bat bomb. Bat bomb! But probably, to rip off the History Channel, the weirdest weapon of the war was the one that split the atom. The atomic bomb. But there is a bat bomb. The idea was you drop a bunch of bats that had explosives strapped to them, and they would basically snack bar themselves and burn down like Japanese cities, which were apparently made out of rice paper. So, yeah, I don't think it got very... Oh, yeah, it did get kind of far. And some of the bats escaped and almost burnt down the base they were building it on. Needless to say, the technology that allows you to split an atom is a little better. Just saying. But you consider World War II was only, at least for America, only about 4 or 5 years, and there was a lot of technology invented during that. One of the things you'll notice in, like, really shit fiction is like, oh, if we didn't, like, have a war, we wouldn't have, like, computers and stuff. It's like, if you're one of the ones that got killed, you probably could do without a computer. And stuff like that were already being discovered anyway. One of the funnier ones is like, the people that are saying like, no one could be as evil as Hitler. It was aliens. Aliens. Yes, there's a whole book series about that. Okay, we should be able to clear these guys off of here. The thing about Call of Duty is it's not so much that like there's too many of them. The idea of like there being some kind of fatigue because of there being too many of one franchise, it's not so much that. It's there's too many bad entries in one of these in some of these franchises. That's really the problem. You could have a lot of CODs, and if they were actually... We already lost. And if they were actually... Yep, already lost. Because see, they can't actually hit him fast enough, and so that guy's just going to charge right through there, and it'll be an instant fail state. Because see, like, you could kill him, but it doesn't matter. Instant fail. So, let's say Call of Duty, like, let's say... I think it's Sledgehammer who's making them now. Let's say, for sake of argument, that Call of Duty, the developers are like, okay, we're going to make a kind of like an open world game with first-person shooter gameplay. Let's say they just rip off, like, say, Far Cry, or let's say Far Cry 3, for sake of argument. And, like, they made the gunplay really good, they made the enemies really compelling, they made the bosses cool. You could make money off of that. But they're not going to do that. They're just going to make another COD game, and people are tired of just another COD game. It's the same way with, like, Disney Star Wars. Like, nobody's really sick of Star Wars. They're sick of bad Star Wars. They're sick of The Acolyte and stuff like that. You know, like, nobody wants to see that. Now, imagine they make, like, say, the Thrawn trilogy, Dark Empire, something like that. People would like that. You know, if you had compelling characters and things of that nature, you know, then people would like it. It's just people are fatigued by bad things. You know, you can give people slop only for so long before they're sick of what they see. And so that's why a lot of this stuff is failing. It's not because they're sick of it. It's not because they're sick of the idea of it. They're sick of what they're actually being given. Because you can only sit through so much trash for so long before people are just tired. Then you have stuff that is like, say, bad marketing. So like Transformers 1 did terribly because it was marketed poorly. People thought it was going to be more of the same slop they were going to get, they normally got, versus, you know, something good. Because word of mouth did show that, like, Transformers 1 had some staying power. But, you know, they didn't have the proper marketing. That could have happened to Star Wars just as easily. Had it not been properly marketed, had it not been saved in the edit, you know, stuff like that. Empire at War is probably going to need some kind of config file. I've not tried to run that in a while, so I don't really know. But, oh, you bastards! Okay, we got him. So you've got to pay attention to the entire line, because these guys are too dumb to actually hold it without a lot of hand-holding. Like, man, if only we had, like, a real gun. least we got the SGG-44, which does help a lot. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Reload, reload. Yep, he's going to go right across. And I tell you, I could hit him with this. And... oh, I didn't actually make the, nope, the through the line run. That's what he said. What an asshole. Give me that sweet, sweet 8mm Kurtz. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Ugh. I still, as annoying as it is, I still think that's pretty awesome, though. See, like, we need D&D nerds for the, Star Wars Force Commander doesn't seem that fun. I've not actually played Force Commander. I don't even own it, I don't think. Force Commander had the, voice actor for Kyle Katarn show up as the main character, and it had a really awesome techno remix of the, Imperial theme, but that's pretty much the only thing I know about it. See, Star Wars got fixed to a major degree by D&D nerds. The West End Games people did the Lord's work when it came to fixing Star Wars, you know, papering over some of the cracks. And I'm a big fan of the West End Game stuff. However, I didn't know any of that crap. I didn't know anything about West End Games until way later because, you know, it's annoying that a lot of good Star Wars lore are in the RPG source books. You know, it's like, if you're not an RPG gamer, like, if you don't want to have to deal with unwashed masses, I mean, yeah, unwashed masses, like, you wouldn't know. Oh, come on, game. Let me hit the tank. That was a perfect shot. Alright, and... oh, I think it's already dead. I guess it did hit. Well, game, you will live for now. I will say this, though. My only real experiences with RPGs are they're either really boring, or I should say tabletop RPGs. Are they really boring, or the people are rude, so... I can't imagine I'd actually want to play it. I do know that Luke Skywalker did get statted in the West End Games. And you know what they say, if you stat it, they will kill it. He gets pretty good stats, though. Han gets some really, really good stats, but he gets absolutely 0 force points, though. Like, they really did not want Han to have any force powers at all. The Force Unleashed games are basically God of War, but Star Wars. I know people like to fight me on that, but like, I've played God of War, and I've played Force Unleashed, and it's very similar. Like, it is remarkably similar. So if you like God of War, you should like Force Unleashed. I did not like God of War, so I did not like it. I didn't even like, and of course, that's not even getting into the plot. I took my stand with a weapon in hand and refused to play it because it breaks canon like you wouldn't believe. Like, you thought Rey was bad, Starkiller's even worse. It's like, Starkiller, it's like, oh yeah, well, Starkiller, this guy you've never heard of, he's stronger than the Emperor and Darth Vader combined. And so, like, yeah, that sounds great. Ugh. I think it's like one of the last LucasArts games, too. It's like, how the mighty have fallen. And then it's like, oh yeah, we can have the Ultimate Sith Edition where, like, this new guy that no one's ever heard of, yeah, he's gonna kill, like, all your favorite characters off. Because, kill your darlings! Uh-huh. Uh-huh. See, like, killing your darlings is a very stupid idea. If you kill off all the characters all the time, that gets old pretty fast. Because usually your big characters are... They're acted by the most talented actors. They're the reason why people came to see the movie or TV show in the first place. So once you get rid of them, you're going to have a big audience drop-off. And it's not going to be as good of a story. The best way to put it is, would Star Wars be as good as it is if... let's say Han dies literally in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Does that maintain quality throughout? If Han is dead, first 5 minutes. Or like, let's say Luke is dead, first 5 minutes. And then they replace him with another character. It's just like, death in movies has reached kind of ridiculous levels, although they're starting to back off on it a little bit. Everybody wanted to be the next Game of Thrones, so it's like, oh yeah, we gotta kill off Ned Stark in the first season. Oh yeah, spoiler alert for like one of the biggest things ever. The Jedi Knight 2 movie duels mod. No, I have not played that. I never really liked lightsaber dueling in the first place, so I never really got into that in gameplay. Just never really liked lightsaber duels. I liked more just the basic combat. Now we gotta clear the hotel. The Whiskey Hotel. Now that was a franchise for a little while of like White House down. I think there's like what, Big Ben down. And there's a couple other things where like major government places get blown up. Yeah, Walking Dead. By the time zombies became a thing, oh really? The captain has been killed in action? That's great. I mean, it does make you pay attention more, but if the captain had a little better AI, I wouldn't have to constantly be watching him. Yeah, I never really got into Walking Dead, by which I mean I never watched it because I don't like zombies. I mean, I read World War Z and I'm like, well, I'm done. This can't get any better than this, and it never did. The World War Z movie doesn't count because World War Z the movie is terrible. Well, okay, maybe not terrible, but it has nothing to do with the book. Like, literally nothing to do with the book. Like, literally everything is different. I'm not sure you could actually one-man control a 88mm gun like this. But you know what? It's kind of cool. There's a place in Texas where you can shoot a PAC 40 for $2,000 a shell. It's like, that's cool, but how about no? Han was force sensitive, didn't know it. I think Han is supposed to basically be like a Batman kind of thing, where like he's just that good because he's the best pilot ever. I kind of like him not being force sensitive, but I could see it where he might be a little bit. But I guess like you don't want every single character in your thing to be like force sensitive, because you could have a really kind of like a Gattaca sort of thing, or like you would only use force sensitive people, or you'd try to like select for only you'd like to genetically engineer people to be force sensitive. Yeah, I've never seen Gattaca. I highly recommend watching that movie. It's pretty good, and it's kind of scary too. It definitely has sort of a retro futuristic kind of thing, but it's where basically in the future you've got the designer babies kind of thing. People can get their kids genetically engineered, and if you aren't genetically engineered enough, you can't have a job, you can't own a house, you can't do anything. The richer you are, the more you can get your kids genetically engineered. It's a neat concept. It's one that's much more realistic than that god-awful movie In Time. I have not played Mysteries of the Sith because that requires a lot of configuration. Like, a lot. Force-capable droids. That does actually exist in lore. The true Star Wars lore. It was only ever in, like, the RPG supplements, but it did make its way to the Essential Guide of Droids. Essentially, and this is pretty neat, actually, this was never in any of the novels, which is a big missed opportunity. There are basically these, like, crystal things that are force sensitive. They can be placed into droid bodies, and they become what are called Iron Knights. I thought that was the coolest shit ever, but never in any of the books, just RPG supplements. But yeah, Gattaca is definitely worth watching, just because, like, it's a scary concept. Everybody having to be genetically engineered in some way, and that's one of those things where it sounds good if you say it fast, but in reality, it's like, do you really want there to be laws passed where like you have to have proper genes to get a job? Like that's all you get. HK47 all the way. Because HK47 I think is a bit more sapient than IG88. Ooh, IG-88 is one of those characters that if you don't read the books... No, those droids are just like individual one-off sorts of things. But it's not even really a droid. What it is the like crystal griblet monster thing. That thing gets a droid body, so it doesn't really matter what body it is. That's just the way it allows... That's the thing that allows it to, like, move. You wouldn't really want an army of Force sensitives anyway, because they'd be too strong to control. It's like the Force is a pretty big Force multiplier, and you wouldn't really want your troops to be able to fight that. Basically, you wouldn't want it to be where, like, your troops could say, like, no, and then, like, hit you with Force lightning. That'd be very bad. I mean, I guess technically it's a cyborg. But, like, is a rock really an organic component, though? Oh, yeah, we gotta shoot down the, JU-87 here. Yeah, look up the Iron Knight. It's a really cool concept, not seen anywhere outside of the RPGs. And it's like, that's the thing, it's like, there's some great stuff in the RPGs, like great characters, like, Admiral Grant, who's like the last Grand Admiral. It's like, I'd never even heard of the guy. Oh, I gotta find the captain. Great. Now, this guy's, of course, supposed to be based on, Tom Hanks. You know, he's got a Thompson submachine gun, even though he's not holding it right. Like, what is he doing? I'll save you, Tom Hanks. No, wait, he's got to run to Greece. Well, like, who who the hell is Admiral Grant, even? Yeah, I got Jedi Knight 2 working. Just take a look at the PC Gaming Wiki. Alright, we gotta try to shoot him down. See, the Stuka dive bomber is really cool, but that's an example of a plane that's like, it's a neat concept, but by the time they got it, it was something that served way past its prime. See, people talk about Germany as like being so super advanced, but that's a 1930s plane, and they didn't replace it. Really? The captain died. Of course he did. Of course he did. I guess it's one thing to make you, like, pay attention more. There we go. Yeah, we're actually almost done with the game. Like, this is not a long, expansion pack. Because after this, we've got the Russian campaign. That's not really what I would call historically accurate. No, the PC Gaming Wiki's been pretty, yeah, he dropped a bomb. It's been pretty, reliable so far. Okay, good, we got him. Now that's pretty impressive for 2002. This is much more impressive than Medal of Honor 1 in many ways. I think for me, when it comes to like RPGs, they just look like they're way too hard. You know, or like every combat is like you could die. You know, it just seems like if you were going to want to play a game, would you really want to have to pay that close attention to it? It's like, oh, if your one stat's out of place, man, it could be completely hosed. So like right now, we're playing as an American. We're playing as the same character, Sergeant Barnes here. I think it's Steve Barnes. It's not Bucky Barnes. That's Captain America. And now we're, for some reason, you know, in Berlin. Like, this is not something that would happen, you know. It's like, one of your planes went down inside the city. Why? Wouldn't that be like a horrible international incident here? It's not exactly something that the Soviets would have allowed, but whatever. And like the actual, you know, Western Allied lines were a bit further away from Berlin at this point in time. But hey, you know what? Mother Russian. KOTOR 2 is kind of important to the lore, but the thing about it is, KOTOR 2 never got a chance to really do what it needed to do because it was rushed for a Christmas release. And then Star Wars The Old Republic, one of the reasons why I don't like SWTOR is what ended up happening to a lot of major KOTOR characters. For one, the player character in KOTOR 2, I'm just going to spoil this, but this is a book that's over 10 years old, so deal with it. The major character in KOTOR 2 just is unceremoniously, I think, shot and killed. Thanks for that. Thanks for that, Sator. And I think T3M4 just gets destroyed. And finally, Darth Revan is used as a living battery. So, yeah! SWTOR! It was pretty annoying that they did that, but, you know, they wanted to sell the new, the latest game from EA Games. So, see, Star Wars has been having problems killing off its fan favorites for a long time. I swear, this is the shittiest rifle in the game. But then the STV-40 just wasn't that great. In the real world, that's why most of them didn't even have scopes on them. But the fact that the Soviets had, like, over 1 million of those rifles is still pretty good. But this right here is like, this is my favorite submachine gun, like a 71 round drum, although you only have 46 in this. I seem to remember you having 46, so I guess that's the Mandela effect. How about the SVT effect? Wow, what a shit rifle. I've not tried the Bounty Hunter re-release. I'm like, well, you know, I've got the PCSX2. What's the point? I'll try it at some point. God damn it. I don't even know what killed me there. Yeah, then a Gaunt revolver. You used to be able to get those for like $100, but like the ammo cost almost as much as the gun, because the ammo is a weird ass caliber where like the actual bullet, the projectile, is recessed in the cartridge case. It's like one of the weirdest things ever. All right, let's see. We are so close to being done. I'll probably able to get this done in about 20 minutes. Well, I'm getting shot by something. By a tank that's right behind me, because I... Wow, what an idiot. I have no means to attack this thing. Game, why do I not have any bombs? Uh-oh. I think we might be kind of screwed here. I've never had that happen where there's no bombs. Did I not pick some up? Huh. I like how these guys can go prone. They're smart enough to do that. Yeah, so that tank, I guess, is just gonna chill out over there. He ran out of gas. I mean, that's not an inaccurate thing either. Because by this point in the war, they had no gas. Like, they had, like, cars converted to run off of wood. That's why you don't go to war when you have no oil. Well, we got some intelligence that we really shouldn't have or need. I'm getting shot by literally everyone. Alright, well... Game... Why don't you cooperate? One of those things you never actually really see in, like, I don't think he would, like, you know, unalive himself over that, though. The best dad in Star Wars? No, not really. He's not that great, especially because if you read one of the Boba Fett comics, he literally tosses Boba into a room with a Rancor. It's like, well, good luck, son! The best father in all of Star Wars is actually Cal Skirata, who doesn't actually do that. Jango also... Jango's an asshole. I was gonna straight up say, Jango is not a good guy. Like, he is legitimately a morally bad kind of guy, you know? People like him because he's in the movie. That's the main thing. As an actual person, like, Jango is a complete piece of crap. You can be like that? Game. Oh yeah, you can be that way, huh? Okay, I might be getting sniped from the rear. Not a good place to be. Oh, I think I'm being killed by that tank that I can't actually hurt. Ugh. Alright, let's do this. Nope, did not work. Okay, let's do this. Dies immediately. Okay, that's an instant death. But you just go slightly to the left, you're fine. Yeah, this rifle is so worthless though compared to the G43. I mean, it kind of is the case in the real in the real world, but I wonder if they were shooting at me. See, aim down sights is great and all, but so yeah, the bit bolt Mosin. Mosins actually have straight bolts, although you can get it bent. Mosins used to be so popular, you could actually send your bolt off to a service that would actually bend it for you. I almost did that, but I decided to keep my Mosin stock. Well, see, like, is Vader really a dad, though? He never once helped raise his kids. Would you really want Vader to raise his kids, you know? Oh, you bastard. That's one of those things where, like, I would have much preferred Luke's parentage to have been, like, uncertain. I'd rather not know that Darth Vader really was Luke's father. Been a little bit more mystery to it, you know? Yeah, the Tokarev is not in this game. That's alright, agnostic. Although we're almost done. We're in the Russian campaign, and that means that in just a little bit we're gonna be done with the whole game. The thing about like the whole Anakin and Padme thing is, really it'd have been much better if there wasn't like this familial connection between Luke and Vader. I think that's just kind of a cheap kind of thing, especially with Leia being Luke's sister. Because then it's like, oh, well, he can't get together with Leia because... Okay, there's some bombs. Bombs. Because that would be weird. It's just where, yeah, Leia liked Han more. It's easy. So many people simp for Anakin, though. It's like, he is not a good guy. He is a legitimate shitheel. Like, especially in the books. He is not somebody you would actually want to, you know, procreate with. Darth Nihilus had a lot of retcons. Like, he kind of was and kind of wasn't. Like, he was a character... There was a lot of, like... Can I get curvature of the spine here? There's a lot of, like, last-minute additions to KOTOR 2 lore. It's like, he kind of was, but then, like, for gameplay purposes, like, he couldn't be that powerful. It's like, I would take a lot of that stuff in KOTOR 2 with a little bit of a grain of salt. Who is shooting at... There he is. There's no audio because the audio is too loud. It'd blow up my eardrums. So I can't hear where the shots are coming from, but sometimes, even when you can hear it, you can't really see it. Oh, I remember this part. Uh-oh. It's like, you really need more health. You need lots of health here. Which I just so happen to get some. Boom. A tank going off that close would not be a fun time. And yeah, it's got some basic white bat audio playing in the background. So at least we have something instead of just dead silence and me. Yeah, a lot of these older games will have some audio issues like that. Yeah, because supposed to be using sound drivers from yesteryear. Now this game did kind of chug back in the day, and it still kind of chugs on here a little bit in places. They're really pushing it to the limit, that's for sure. And yeah, Spaceballs the sequel is finally being made. And I, for one, am excited to see it. I mean, if he actually gets some good writers, it should be a pretty good movie. I mean, the teaser trailer actually was legitimately entertaining. Listing off all the sequels of all these mega franchises. It's like, that's actually legitimately funny. It wasn't just relying on, like, Rick and Morty humor. I really hope it doesn't have, like, any Rick and Morty writers. 212, I recognize the name, but I can't remember anything that happens in it. You almost kind of got to feel bad for some of these guys, you know? The whole idea that, like, you make it all the way to the ending days of the war, and then, you know, you got some super soldier here just blasting through you like it's nothing. That's the thing about conflicts. It's like, yeesh. There's a whole, Twilight Zone episode devoted to that. It's like, you will kill the enemy the first day of the war and the last day of the war. And kind of explaining why conflict is bad. And, well, conflict... That's a thing I've started to see on, social media. Is like, war is the natural state of humanity. It's like, how about you first? How about you first? I need my I need my PPSA. God damn it. I got shot by literally everyone. And yeah, I can never stand Rick and Morty either. I did try to watch a little bit of it just to kind of see what it looked like. And, yeah, the whole Pickle Rick thing, you know. I'll be honest though, I didn't like Futurama either. I mean, Futurama wasn't terrible, but... Who's you? The orchestral music came from a DVD that I purchased back in the ye olde days from a website called Video Copilot. Unfortunately, I had to like remove a lot of that because it got copyright struck, despite the fact that it was supposed to be free to use if you bought the thing, and I did, but whatever. It is what it is. The redhead magnet. Rick and Morty might as well just be, you know, like Reddit humor. It's like it watches like somebody who, like a Redditor wrote it. The whole lightsaber thing kind of annoyed me. It's like, oh, if you drop the lightsaber, it'll like keep going. It's like, well, you know, okay, fine. But how would, Obi-Wan Kenobi know exactly where to drop it? Why would he drop it that way? It's like, could he get off the station soon enough? Blah, 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 blah. No, that would not really work. It's all pretentious twaddle. Or like, there's another clip that I sat through. It's like, it's perfectly level. It's like, ugh, whatever. And then there's like some kind of riot at like a Wendy's because somebody wanted some kind of special sauce that was in the show. Needless to say, it was a show that did not appeal. It wasn't made for me. I'm still a fan of the first 7 seasons of The Simpsons. It has, as the youth might describe, a vibe, and that vibe is it felt, you know, real. There's a whole book that covers that. In short, he was very happy, but then hid the pregnancy from Darman so he wouldn't be distracted. And the fallout of that was very realistic. Very realistic. I would totally love to get me one of these PPSHs in real life. Repeal the NFA! Repeal the NFA, damn it! Damn you, Silencer Co., or whoever's responsible for that. Locate down aircraft. Oh, goddammit, I didn't even grab the map. Ugh. We gotta go all the way back and get the bloody map. We don't even really need the map. The map to the Chancellery. They would already know that. Ugh. So we have to go get that. Oh, let's see. It is... Okay, we got plenty of time. Just shoot him in the back. Okay, come on, game. There we go. I'm playing this in a window, and this is not like being played in a window. A Lotz L39 anti-tank rifle. Now that'd be pretty neat. Although where you'd shoot it, I don't know. You'd need a lot of desert. Okay, let's get the map. There we go. Ugh. Besides, poor Barnes here. He's like walking like 5 miles. Well, see, here's the thing though. Scarada doesn't actually do that. What actually happens is when Darman learns about that, he beats the shit out of Scarada for not telling him in the first place. So, yeah. Cal Scarada is not like a TV show dad. He's like a real person. There couldn't be any health in here. Oh, we got magic healing water. It's like you drink from a water well in World War II and you just immediately grow back an arm. Let's see. Okay, so all we gotta do is locate the Chancellery building, which we already did. Now, this was not the worst. I do wonder, though. I wonder if, like, some gun tuber needs to do this. Okay, come on, game. Stop fucking up. Is a scoped SVT-40 worse than a scoped 1903? That's my question, because, like, apparently the 1903 snipers were not very good. So, like, what kind of not very good is it, though? Could an SVT-40 be more accurate and semi-auto on top of that? Okay, so locate the safe containing the list of double agents. Why would an American be allowed to do this, is my question. Right now, the Soviets are taking over the entirety of Berlin. We should not be here right now. They would shoot us. There's a whole game based around that. Eliminate enemies and commandeer a tank. It's like there's a whole game based around getting all this intelligence, and that's Sniper Elite V2, where you're in Berlin trying to get all this secret intelligence and shooting all the Soviets. Whereas in this game, you know, Sergeant Barnes here, he's helping him out. Is Sergeant Barnes secretly a communist? I don't know. He seems kind of shifty to me. Oh, crap. Just gonna hide behind a T-34. Now, there's a number of videos these days saying that the T-34 is really overrated, but you really started to see that after the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So I'm not sure how much of that is anti-Russian propaganda and how much of that is the tank is actually really bad. Oh, come on, game. Just throw me a frickin' bone here. Because we're kind of stuck behind here with just enough health that we can actually do something, but not enough that we're going to get completely eradicated. And you have to kill all the enemies in order to commandeer the tank. And since this is in a window, there we go. We got him. I love how that grenade immediately falls right in front of my face as I save. Come on, get him! Got him. Django actually gave Cal Scarada a job to actually train all the clone commandos, or train some of the clone commandos. So yeah, they definitely did know each other. He was his boss. He paid the bills. So yeah, we get to drive a tank. This definitely would go on to inspire the Treyarch CODs, where you could drive a tank. It's a little bit rough. I don't know if we're actually going to even beat this level and like beat the game, because the end of the game is really, 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 really annoying, as you'll come to see. Like, this part is really fun, though. The thing about it is, like, you really need more AI helping you out, because you can't reload nearly fast enough. Can't really turn around fast enough either. It's just a number of issues that makes this a little hard to beat. It's harder to beat than I remember. I remember beating this pretty easily, but then again, I had a lot of practice on this game back in the old days. Are we screwed already? They had the plot for Sniper Elite 1 on the PS. Okay, so we're doing the exact opposite now. We're actually helping the Soviets. Now we can get health on this tank. It's like there's oil cans around here where you can like get health that way. Uh-oh. Did you get in a wreck? Clearly you must not be that bad, Triple X, if you're like commenting on a live stream. But hopefully you didn't get in a wreck or something. Dealing with Entrance is never easy. Run him down! Crush him! There were Mandos that were loyal to the Empire. Technically, Boba Fett was loyal. Boba Fett liked Darth Vader. They were buddies, kind of. Okay. All I gotta say is, you have failed. Yeah, fuck you, game. Fucking with a lance. Boba Fett really liked Darth Vader. He's a big fan, but not in the same way that, like, you know, like a Dr. Aphra would be a big fan. It's like Fett was all like, Fett was in his 70s and he was all like, you know, Darth Vader never asked anyone to do what he wouldn't do, you know, something like, or he couldn't do. I liked that about Fett. Like, he stayed a bad guy the entire time. He never became like a quasi good guy. And yet, I will say this though. I kind of like Disney Fett to a certain extent. I like the idea of a Fett, you know, like maybe having a near-death experience and wanting to do better, you know, with his life and not being a crazy person. Both are good characterizations, but I kind of like the asshole Fett more, because would asshole Fett have any reason to become good other than he almost died? Boba Fett is just one of those villains that, like, he's able to cheat death a lot just because he is that good. Oh, well, you'd buy that for $1. Alright, let's shoot him up. I'm not sure if that half track is actually in any way realistic, but I mean, I guess it's kind of neat. Oh yeah, evidently, World of Tanks got shut down by the Russian government for being, like, not patriotic enough, apparently. Whoever was flying that Mustang was a... Wow, and then he crashes and dies. What an idiot. I mean, we thank you for the... Yeesh. Thankfully, Houston is, there are bums out there. Transients, tramps, derelicts, but you know, with how spread out everything is, you don't necessarily, they don't really get an opportunity to beg for money, because like everybody's just driving all the time, and so they're coming to the window, and that's pretty much the best they can do. If Karen Traviss wrote The Mandalorian, it would be an awesome show, and I would love to see it. Karen Traviss, people hate on her, but she's still one of my favorite writers, at least because of the true Mandalorian series. If the Republic Commando books had become a TV series, I think people would have had their minds blown in a way that they couldn't even imagine. Because Cal Skirata was the main character of that series, and like, you wouldn't have Pedro Pascal, but you'd have like an older actor, and he'd be a really cool character because he's very morally gray, very he's a very multifaceted character that you don't. Oh crap! There's a tank right in my face. That's what happens when you can't hear. Come on, blow him up. At least I've got some health. How many Tiger tanks are in this city? if you look at like World War II movies and games, it's like you would think that like the Tiger tank was one of the most common tanks, when in fact I think they only made like less than 2,000. And by 1945, there's like what, 6 left functional? Really, you'd be watching out for Volkssturm with Panzerfausts. Like that. I love how that. Okay, wait a minute. Did he have a fucking Stinger missile? Is he getting like missiles from, you know, France or something? How did that curve to hit me? The technology doesn't exist, you bastards! The AR-15 of Star Wars. The E11 blaster rifle. It's a very common blaster rifle. Like, the Sterling finally became popular. But Star Wars doesn't really focus on, like, guns and stuff like that. It'll just be like, and they used a blaster. That was never something that people cared that much about in the story. But it would presumably be the E11. Like, you know, Han, you know, he never actually used a rifle. He would primarily just keep using his pistol, which you'd think he would use something a little more effective, but it's not that kind of story. Or it's not, no one cares that much. Now, fans have tried to justify that by saying that most of the combat takes place in space, so like ground combat really doesn't matter, and they're not wrong. You know, like a lot of infantry combat would be completely obsolete if you had the high orbitals. You just drop rocks on them. So it makes sense why that would be less developed. And stormtroopers can see out of their helmets. That's just a line from a movie. Okay? And see, this is why we're probably not going to beat this, because this is really annoying. Trying not to die, because look how many times I've hit this tank. I swear it was never this hard back in the day. Maybe there is some kind of lag or something. I don't know. Destroy the south bridge. Oh, maybe you have to destroy the bridge. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes that's pretty cool. That's cool that you can do that. Now, I don't think you get any health here. But you basically have to hold until relieved, and it takes forever to finally be able to do that. Oh dear. I mean, I think Triple X, you're going to get a lot of dark side points for that. A lot of dark side points. I think you'll have to, like, change your character class. What? Could Han's pistol be considered a deagle? Kind of. I didn't know the Sterling was kind of in World War II. That's kind of neat. And yeah, rods from God, man. We shall see if that actually ever gets built, or if it's already there. I've seen some conspiracy theorists that are like, yeah, they used, like, rods from God to blow up Iran. It's like, I'm not so sure about that, but whatever. We'll see. Oh yeah, we can't go by where the tanks are. Instead, we have to go where these guys are. Okay. Until our bombers reach your position. Uh-huh. And they're all B-17s. I'm gonna try this once. But this is one of those things where you have to do it perfectly, otherwise you lose. And I'm already down to 43 health. So I spent about 20 minutes trying to beat this when I was doing the review, and I still couldn't get it. I like this game well enough, but not that much. I love how that tank immediately crashes right into me like an asshole. Oh my. Okay, you know, I'll give it one more try. I'll give it another good college try. But see, you can't heal up here. And so I got blasted by that stupid tiger tank, not realizing I had to destroy the bridge. And there's no real cover, you know, and then, like, there's a lot of tanks. Like, there's a lot of enemy tanks. Like, this is probably every tank the Germans have at this point in the war, and they're all coming for you. Which, you know, I'm just saying, that seems oddly convenient. There actually are shotguns in Star Wars. You can use one in Republic Commando. The Trandosians have them. There's also the deck clearing blaster, which apparently can even take down Sith Lords, at least in the RPG. No, Han's pistol is just a pistol. You're thinking of the Briar pistol from Dark Forces. And that's Kyle Katarn's pistol, which is a cut-down rifle. Did he fill out the Imperial tax stamp, I wonder? But once again, Star Wars really isn't that kind of franchise. It's like they don't really focus on the armor, because if they did, they wouldn't have the characters in their iconic outfits, because they would wear Stormtrooper armor all the time, or they'd be wearing armor all the time. Some of the later books tried to do this, but it didn't really work that well. Writers would kind of forget about it. It's not dramatic. That's the main thing. Okay, if I get killed again, and I probably am, because see, you can't shoot fast enough. You can't, and like, look at all the tanks that are shooting at me. And I gotta somehow be able to hit all of them. If each hit was a one-hit kill, you might be able to do it. I've done it before, but it's really annoying. Alright, so that is Medal of Honor Spearhead. It's a pretty good expansion pack. I do recommend playing it. I mean, you have to get it when you get the Medal of Honor War Chest anyway. The ending is really annoying, but it's impressive what they were able to do. You wouldn't want to meet Harrison Ford. He's kind of a grumpy old man, but it's kind of his persona. I guess if you have to talk about Han Solo for forever, it gets kind of annoying after a while. Well, see, like, what was the point of armor? That's not real, okay? Like, the Stormtrooper armor should be able to take a few blaster shots, but it's a movie, so do you want to see, like, Han just going pew, pew, and, like, the same Stormtrooper gets knocked down, he gets right back up again, he gets knocked down again, you know, whatever, you know, it would get boring. The thing is, you can't take that at face value. The same way with, like, the X-Wings not having shields. It's a movie. You're in a hurry. You got to get through a big story in 2 hours, or less than that, and so you don't want to waste time on, like, shooting things again and again. In any event, I'm General Lotz, and speaking of Star Wars, next time we're going to actually stream Jedi Fallen Order, but until then, I am General Lotz, wishing you good, Medal of Honor Spearhead, Medal of Honor European Assault, whatever makes you happy.